Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to the Joyous Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel Coon and it's Fun Fold Friday. Today I'll be using a Sale-a-bration product to show you how to make a really fun slider card. Go to Hold I Flip and we'll get started. Alright, hope you guys can see everything okay. I'm going to try to scoot this a little bit closer. 1 second. Oh, let me give you a flash into the background. There we go. Sorry about that. Welcome, welcome. Today's Fun Fold Friday is a celebration card. And what I want to tell you is that today I'm doing a double fun fold. As you know, if you comment on my Facebook Live, during the live or even after the live up until midnight tonight, you may be the one that wins our card for the day. So today I'm doing two fun folds because last week I missed one. We had family in town and I wanted to make sure that we keep on giving you ideas week after week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. You'll get my weekly video reminders for Wednesdays and Fridays and every time I make an awesome new video. All right, let me show you today's card and tell you why it is so awesome and why I love it. Okay, this one is a slider card. So you see right here, there's this cool little ribbon and tag. We pull that and we move our van and it says driving by just to say hi. Then we can put it back in. Super, super cute card. I am using the Driving By Celebration stamp set and we are using this Volkswagen van or bus, whatever you want to call it, and then the driving by just to say hi there. These are really common here in California and we see them all the time. They are the fun like surfer type vehicle, I suppose. All right, let me go ahead and show you how we're going to make this today. And that is not as hard as you may seem. You just have to have the right tools. So to make the track, let me show you what I use. The track is right here is what we put our vehicle on. And here is a die from the dress, all dressed up dies. And you can see it's a lot longer than I need my track to be. So what I did is I measured it out, so it's 3.5 inches. I put a little bit of washi tape there. And then I don't want it to continue cutting. So the secret of how to do that is pretty easy. Here I have my plates for my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Let me grab my 2 pieces of paper so I can show you how we line this up. So we have one plate on the bottom. You can see my plate's very well loved right now. About time to replace it. And then I have my piece of DSP and my little black row that I'm creating. And we're gonna stick them on top of each other like that. Then you'll go ahead and grab your little piece that has some stitching on it on one side and it'll cut out the right shape that we want. And we'll line it up right there using our washi tape, kind of to help attach it to there. Then the trick is to make it stop cutting is that we're going to put our top plate right where that washi tape meets. That's kind of like our measuring line there. So then we run it through, we can run the whole thing through and everything behind this top plate will not cut. Instead it'll just cut all this front spot, which leaves you with these 2 pieces that we need to finish cutting with our paper snips. You see how it doesn't cut all the way through there. Let me go ahead and grab our paper snips and we can do that. So for this part, all I do is just lift it up just a little bit and make sure my scissors are on the both ends of it. And I'm gonna cut that off. If you have like the, what's it called? Like a little craft knife, that would work too to help cut off just this little piece here. There we go. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and just glue these 2 pieces together now that we have them snipped and ready. And this is our DSP, which is a Sale-a-bration DSP. So if I flip it over, you can see on the other side, we have some fun stripes. This is a free item when you order $50 worth during Sale-a-bration, and that's a Sunshine and Rainbows DSP. Okay. I wanted it to be black in the bottom to kind of give that road look is what I was going for here. So we just have those lined up now, and we have that track behind it. For our other pieces, I have this piece of basic black, which is a 2" by 5 1/2. I have all my measurements over my blog, so if I say anything wrong, be sure to check in the comments or in the description later for all of the measurements. And I went ahead and I used my Delightful Tag Topper to create a tag. And you can see that the tag punch has different sizes. I went ahead and did the 2" size there. Then I used my Versamark and my white embossing powder to create the white writing on the top of the tag. You want to make sure that you have it on the top so it's not showing through the track and far enough over so when you pull it out, you can read the whole thing. So keep that in mind when you're doing your placement for this one. Then we have, of course, cute little tag clouds. We'll put on these later. These were dyed from the rainbow stamp set that has the dies for that. And then let's go ahead and finish assembling this track here. So I have a Bermuda Bay card base, so just our regular measurements at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. It's scored at 4 1/4. We're going to turn that. I'm going to go ahead and crease it now because it's just going to get trickier later. This front half is going to be pretty big and bulky. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our basic black, which is going to be our mat for the top here. So go ahead and attach that while we're here. Just a little bit of glue around the ends and one in the center. Flip and put on. While we're here, let's grab our basic white. This Bermuda Bay is a little bit darker, so I always recommend adding a piece of basic white for your inside. However, I like to use my Seal Plus or my Seal to attach this piece. I find it leaves no glue lines, the double-sided adhesive, so that's my favorite when I'm using white cardstock. Okay, we'll open that up so that our card base will be completely ready. Okay, next what we need to do is go ahead and we're gonna flip over this piece here. You want to make sure you make note of where we want our label to be. So I'm going to flip it going this way. And I'm going to put my tag this way so I remember my tag will be on this side eventually. And you'll see why here in just a minute. Alright, so I'm using our foam adhesive strips. And I've cut them so that they match the right size. I think that's a 5" is how long I've made this one. So I'll need 3 of these, and one 2" piece here. And this piece will be our stopper. So what I want to do is go ahead and peel off a strip here and put it on the very bottom of our DSP, the back of it. And just go from one end all the way to the end. If this is too long, you always flip it over and trim off a little bit. So I'm going to trim off just a little bit here before I set it down. There we go. Then we'll press it down. Okay, next we need to put in our tag topper. So I'm going to have it, like we said, this is going to be set right in here, like so. So I'm going to flip it over so I have a placement holder. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my other piece. That's the 5" long. And we'll attach that one to the top. However, I don't want it to be right on top. I want to give it a little bit of wiggle. Just like so. Okay. Then we're going to grab our 2" strip and put it at the very back to create a stopper. We need it to be the foam so that way it gives enough movement room. There we go. And because we don't want it to be top or bottom heavy on this card, we're going to add one more of our strips to the very top of the card so that way it has a way to attach there as well. There we go. Awesome. We now can remove this piece and take a quick look and see if we have any of our foam strips are hanging over anywhere that we don't want them to be. I could probably trim that one just a little bit. There we go. Okay, go ahead and remove the backings of all of our foam adhesive strips. And we're going to attach it to our card base. So what I like to do is just kind of hover over the card to make sure that it has the black underneath it on all sides and try to keep it kind of equal, has that matte look to it. Okay, now we go ahead and put this, slide it back through to where it's going to be. And you can even add your little ribbon now so you don't lose that tag. It won't go all the way in, but that ribbon does make a good holding spot. So you can take that out. And I just have a piece of sheer pool party ribbon because it matches my DSP so well, but you can use any ribbon that you want. And I'm just going to double tie a knot on it. Maybe, there we go. The sheer is a little slippery. It's not a cotton, it's more of like a, ooh, I don't know what kind of material that is, but it's sheer, so it's just slippery. Then we'll take our paper snips and just kind of tidy up our ends on here. Awesome. Now we can slide it all the way back in, and then we have a great spot to grab. Okay. So we're going to stop right there with that portion of it. We'll come back to this in just a second, and now we're going to focus on our cute little bus or van, whatever you want to call it. So what I did was I went ahead and I stamped the image on basic white, and I stamped it on some DSP. Again, this is that fun sunshine and rainbows paper, and on this other side has these great sunshines. So what we're going to do is fussy cut that out. Let me get our card back in view so you can kind of see what we're going with this. I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to cut around the parts that I'm going to attach on. And I want the whole bottom of the van. So I'm cutting right along the black lines. I want to make sure I have my door handles on there still. And then I'm going to cut around this top part here because we want to have that white rim. You just take your paper snips and work them around your image. And you can do this with any paper, and it'll change the look and design of your Volkswagen bus. All right, same thing, we're gonna cut off this back end here. And snip this part off as well. So what we're left with is just the very center of our van. We'll have to flip that part over, and we'll go ahead and add just a little line of liquid glue. Not much at all. Flip it over and match it to the lines of where it should be, and press down. Super cute. All right, next we'll grab your stamping blends. I have my dark smoky slate and my dark mango melody. I'm gonna use the little pin side instead of the big brush side, and we're just gonna continue coloring the top of this here. You could have done this before or after, it doesn't matter too much. We just want this part to continue on, but we want those windows to be white. Otherwise, I would have just kept the whole design, but this helps carry over that bottom color, and we leave that very top white. Because if you've ever seen one of these vans, you know that that's what they have. Some of them have really fun center wheels. So I'm going to go ahead and color this part in as well. I didn't do that on my original, but I did a little research later on, and or looked at some images of these vehicles, and that's a very fun feature on some of them. Then we're gonna get the tire, and I didn't want to use complete black. That's why I'm using the dark smoky slate, because sometimes I think the black on black ink just makes it, washes it out too much, and you can't see the actual stamping image anymore. So just grab your darkest shade of gray to color in these tire wheels. Awesome. Then we need to fussy cut the whole thing out. I know that sounds horrible, but it's not too bad. Make sure you guys can see. I'll get a little closer. The little exhaust pipe, I don't go around that one too much, but you can go as close as you want or as far away as you want to it. It's up to you. You can even fussy cut this out before I glued and colored. And the order you do it does not matter. Make sure you just don't cut off that little cute headlight that we had on the front. And go around the ends here. Luckily, this is just a little car and it has fairly easy cutting lines. There we go. Super cute. Let me show you. Oh, I love it. Isn't that fun? Doesn't that just scream like 70s vehicle? Love it. Super fun. Okay. Now let's go ahead and attach that to our card base. So what we're going to do is grab some black mini dimensionals. If you don't have minis, you can cut your regular dimensionals in half. But what I like these minis because they're just a perfect size for the track. What I'm going to do is I have my tag all the way in, and I'm going to set a dimensional inside the track at the very end. I'm going to do 1 and 2 of them. Press it all the way in, make sure it's there, remove the backings, and then I'm going to place our cute little bus that we just made right on top of this track here. One second, make sure it's, there we go. So I'm going to put it at the very end as far as it can go without going over, and I'm just going to press down. And that should pick up on those dimensionals so that when I pull on our tag, it'll come with it. Oh, look at that. I just love how that looks and turned out. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to send this to one of you. Lastly, all we have to do is add our cute little clouds to make our little up scene a little bit more of just an empty sky. So what do? Just add about 4 dots. Just make sure they're not lined up and your clouds are ready to go. These, I like to have my biggest cloud on top, but it doesn't matter. Throw in a couple of these clouds. So that's something fun to look at when you're driving by, right? Watching the clouds go by too. Maybe. And our last cloud here. Okay, those clouds just need to dry and they are set to go. And we have our cute little moving slider bus. Oh, I love it. All right, you guys, I hope you've had fun learning how to make this card today. And don't be too intimidated. It's really easy once you have the right tools. Just remember my trick with the cutting out our track. And I hope you give this card a try and make it for someone who you think would just love it. All right, you guys, happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.